with the news from Vale to to have a bike for 2021 at least from Yamaha point of view is another story.
Still staying with Fabio, and I will ask also about Franco, so no worries. But I didn't have the chance till now to ask you about him. And as you also mentioned, Jorge, you mentioned already Maverick. How could you describe Fabio's riding style? Not necessarily comparing to Jorge or Maverick, but why not?
Well, yeah, to be clear, I would establish his performance basically as a mix, because we know he's very talented, but what does it mean talented? You need to be very good in many areas, and that's what he is. He's smart, he's calm, he's aggressive. So this combination is very strange. He can be aggressive, but also he is able to control his bike very well. So he has this connection on the throttle that nobody actually, maybe Jorge came close to that, because this kind of way of riding, he's close to Jorge. But other areas, he's different. So he's quite specific, but he's a combination of riders, and this is nice to see. And especially because of his age, normally these guys are quite stubborn, and as a rider, you need to be an egoist. How do you say that? Egoist.
Yeah.
And they're all, but still you need to use all the tools around you. So from crew chief, from data guy, from team manager. So you need to, and from his own manager. So you need to accept influence from outside, because we all have a lot of experience. We were a new team with a lot of experience. And this is, I think, the message he understood very well. And of course, his level is very high. So sometimes you already overstep us a bit in performance, because we did not expect him to be capable to do that. Mm-hmm. But still, we are on many areas, we are able to guide him and to teach him, not directly on riding, because his skills are very, very high. But as soon as we see something that he could improve on data or on television, outbreaking maneuvers or whatsoever, he has his ears on the right place, so he's still keen to learn. And as soon as we have been discussing it, he will try it, and this is very nice to see.
And mentally or emotionally, how is he? You mentioned that he's a calm guy. Clearly then on this racetrack could be aggressive when it's needed or when the situation requires.
Yeah, basically he can be really fired up if something goes wrong, but also he's able to calm it down very quickly. So this is important. You need to have this passion that somebody was in your way, or something went wrong, or we planned wrong, or whatsoever. So, and it means tire wise, or he could not do a lap time or whatever, or something went wrong actually in the practice. So he's fired up quickly, and you see his emotions really when he takes off the helmet. And I already see it when he jumps off the bike, basically. Then I thought, then you need to be there. No,
yeah,
actually not. Yeah, you need to be there to also to let him understand that he needs to stay calm, because you can, fire up in 5 seconds, but as soon as you jump on the bike, you need to have everything in control again, and also to give him the right information why he's at that position. Maybe other guys put new tires or whatever is going on. He needs to have that information. And these are important moments to keep him calm, and also to guide him in the right way. But he's 20, but he behaves as somebody from much older, I have to say, because he understands and still is able to listen on those moments, and this is important.
And how is this with Franco? Because from outside, what we can see is he's a funny guy, but he's much more quiet, at least what we can see of him. So I don't know, when he has a bad session, can you already see from his body movement or whatever the same thing that you mentioned with Fabio, and then how you do with Franco? So it's better to go there and give the impression immediately, or wait?
No, basically the same. But Franco is matured a little bit, more. Basically, he keeps also his emotions a little bit more in his pocket, So you see he's temperate. I can see it in his eyes, but he doesn't show them, So he's hot, and he knows where he wants to be, because I still have to say what he did last year. I'm very proud of. He's capable and analyzing the bike so well that it's really something special. And but also it's a learning curve from us. Fabio came without a backpack. So he just came from from Moto2 on a MotoGP bike. And Franco, came from a competitor bike, jumping on the Yamaha, and he had his backpack from the old bike, So he struggled to find the right way in the beginning to have the limits, to find the limits of the Yamaha, because with his former bike he couldn't do that. And so he need to analyze and work well. And when Fabio became faster than Franco, and then he was keen to see where he was gaining, where he was winning, and he learned a lot from that. So they never stop basically teaching themselves and try to discover where they have to go faster. This is nice to see. But emotionally, Franco keeps everything more to himself, and he doesn't want to show the whole world what he's feeling. So. This is also, but he's quite emotion guy as well, because he keeps it for himself. But you see, he really trusts us that we mean the best for him, that we want to get everything out of him to perform well and to guide him in the best way. That he has a good bike for the race weekend, and this is what he really appreciates from the team.
Was he frustrated last year because of the difference, let's say, between him and Fabio?
Yeah, well, frustrated, but of course, maybe I wouldn't name it frustrated, because when you're frustrated, you do this, and you become grumpy, and he never did that. He always looked in his own pocket, and he said, if he's able to do that, I can do it. That's the spirit as well, to get better, because it's not the right way to sit down and just be grumpy, basically.
Talking about improvement, you are still able to see Maverick's data, if I'm right. What do you think of his improvement or changes, let's say, last year? Because you worked together 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So I think if someone can see the difference from inside, is you.
From inside is difficult, because I jumped, of course, over to Petronas team, but for sure he's much more concentrated on his job, and this is, I think, also the bike improved quite a bit, since last year. So since the bike performs better, also his results became better. And I think still he has the same talent as Fabio and Mark to become world champion, not sooner or later, but he has the speed, But there are 20 races, and you need to be there all 20 races, and this is sometimes difficult. If you have a bad weekend, you need to try to do everything to just get on the podium sometimes, or just to get the best out of that package. And that has been hard so far for him, and winning 2 races last year. But also he struggled too much in other races.
Sticking with your ex-riders, what do you think of Jorge's possible comeback? Because probably it won't happen in Barcelona that he has the wild card, but they announced that he would have a wild card in Barcelona. If not there, maybe in a...
Yeah, exactly. Barcelona is this is maybe also will become the first race Barcelona. I don't know. So let's see. Jorge struggled quite hard on the Honda. Basically, he had a couple of big crashes. So I was happy to see that he's enjoying riding again in Malaysia with the test, and then the announcement, of course, of his that he will do a wildcard race was nice to hear, basically. But I cannot judge the wish from him to come back. So
judge not for sure, but weren't you surprised that he just announced his retirement last November? We all have been in the press room in Valencia, you as well. So
yes.
You were not surprised?
I was surprised. I have to admit, I was surprised that first of all he was capable already to do the test riding for Yamaha, because jumping from Ducati to Honda on the Yamaha, it gives us quite some input for our bike, basically, because he knew all those two competitor bikes quite well. And this was interesting for Yamaha to sign him up and to understand what was going on with other manufacturers. So for sure, this is the way as well to learn from others. And then secondly, to have him in the championship back again. This is a surprise for everybody. He was with his back basically on the floor, because you saw on his riding that he gave up pushing the Honda to the limits because he didn't want to injure himself. And from the moment that he jumped on the Yamaha, directly he had the feeling, I can do this, I can race this bike, and he didn't have that feeling, with the Honda.
Lastly, about the future, could you already start to think about the riders? And I stick with the MotoGP team and class, as you are the team manager for that.
Of course, we had our strategy to decide to follow up for a new rider for Fabio, basically for 2021. But we also said it doesn't make sense to stress this up, because we are in the situation that many riders are willing to come to our team. So of course we have the guys in our mind that we really wanted to have, which I'm not going to name, basically. So but we have time, first we want to see when the championship goes on, and if it goes on, because this is also a question mark. But on the other side, we also have seen that with Fabio that there is always a guy who is capable to ride this bike very well, So last year when we took Fabio, everybody was focusing on basically not on him. We wanted to have Fabio because we knew he was capable to do a good job in this championship, and we still having already a couple of names for him as a replacement, which we think they can do a really good job, and maybe nobody really think about them. But we think so, with a good approach and with a good protocol as a team structure, as we have made with Ruslan and Johan and myself. So I think we can give these guys a good grow. And also what we have learned with Fabio is that, if the guys have a backpack or no backpack, it makes influence, So
I won't ask names, but what is the strategy then you set up? Like pick up new talents?
Well,
pick up new talents?
Well, our team structure was like that. Yeah, we have to pick up new talent and guide them into factory teams for the future. And this is basically was our wish. Of course, with the news from Vale to have a bike for 2021 at least. From Yamaha point of view, is another story, So we have not been discussing this with Yamaha whatsoever. So we need to see what these options will lead through, basically. So far, first Vale needs to race a couple of races, because that's what he does always. After 3-4 races, he decides what he will do for the future. So we can imagine him in our team for next year, but maybe he decides to stop this for 2021. You don't know. First, he needs 3-4 races to fulfill his job, still try to enjoy motorcycle racing, and if he can perform the way he really wants, and that's being around or on the podium. And let's see and wait for that.
But can you imagine a rider combination in your team, Valentino and Jorge?
Yeah, as I said before, we need to sit down. What is our team structure? What do we really want? And to build up new and young talent. This was our mission. And if we throw that overboard, we talk about a complete different story and different package. And but of course, everything in racing is possible. But if it's on our wish list is another thing. But let's see how this explores, basically, because I cannot give any decent answer on this one.
Okay, I don't force this more, and I accept this answer. Thank you so much for your time.